So he's just gone again to bury a couple of nuts. Now, this morning, he doesn't want to jump on me. He wants to sit here, and so what he started to do was just scratch around for other bits and bobs. And so I thought, well, okay, if you want to eat there like the big squirrels, that's cool, because that's what I want you to do eventually anyway. I don't want to keep having to mother you. So I put his sunflower hearts and these nuts. So he took one pecan nut and two of the almonds, and he was wrestling trying to put them all in his mouth and he was dropping them, and it's funny watching, you know, young animals as they learn about what their capabilities are. So he dropped two down on the floor, so I picked those back up again and put them in here, and then he's jumped onto the ivy and he's gone to bury that nut. He'll be back any time now, but one thing I've noticed, that he is getting more mature, he is becoming more dependent, and I don't know, he goes through stages whereby sometimes he wants to just come down and grab a nut hanging on a tree, and then he'll go running back up to the tree. Other times he's happy to jump on me and play with me and sniff at my ear and dig in my hair and all that sort of stuff. Other times he just wants the food, and if I try to move the nuts around in my palm, then here he is, then he makes some sort of whoa! Oh, what did you do? You just bashed your mouth? Yeah, you see. You just bashed your mouth, didn't you? Oh, my little baby. Yeah. And about a week ago, what are you doing now? Just got one more nut. Why are you going to bury them? Why don't you eat them? You're not hungry enough. Hey, you're not hungry enough, are you? Evidently. Not hungry enough. Come here. Come on, Daddy. Come on, Daddy. What do you want? Two now? Well, you're dropping them all, don't you? Just waste them. Oh, he's got two. Where's he going with them? Well, I just hope that he remembers where he's putting them. Yeah. And, yeah, so getting very independent, which is a good thing. This is growing up, and he's starting to smell different now. Let's have a look at you. He's smelling more like sexually scented. I smelled his fur, and it was like, I don't know, I suppose like an animal on heat, only he's a male and it's too young for that. I don't know whether he'd had relations with another one, but he most certainly smelled scented, and I've never smelt that before. And so next time I get the opportunity, I'll see if that smell is still there, and if it isn't, then I can only assume that he was, you know, with a sexually active female. And I haven't checked this, but I'm thinking that this time of year is when they are copulating, because they give birth to their young end of February, beginning of March. The first, they have two batches, and so there's about a 3-month ingestion period. I think I can't be sure because I've not studied this stuff in depth, but that's just briefly from what I remember. I'm going to be studying more, so I know what to expect. But yeah, there you have it. All the other squirrels, they've all gone somewhere else, and he usually is over there with them, and I've yet to find out what they're actually eating. He doesn't appear to be eating too much of whatever they're eating, because he's always starving. But today he wasn't hungry enough to tremble and get everything down in his stomach as quick as he possibly could. He ate one nut, and then you want to come and jump on me, Daddy, otherwise you're going to hurt your chin again, aren't you? Hey? But all I know is there's a big boy. Come on then. Come on me, and I'll help you up there. Go on then. You got there now. That's my boy. He's looking for the other squirrels to see if they're looking. Are they looking? Hey, where are they? Have they seen you? What are you going to do with that? Ooh. And so one thing that squirrels do, they have a deceptive consciousness, which means that when they're burying their nuts, they pretend to be burying them in one place when the other squirrels and birds are watching, but then they surreptitiously go and bury them somewhere else. And so there is a level of deception in their action, because they know that there's prying eyes all over the place. And so that is a very big indication of intelligence. And so yeah, there's not another squirrel. They've been down because I give them the monkey nuts, and I give them a handful of shelled nuts in here, and some sunflower hearts in their shells. They're all gone. So by the time they've eaten what they prefer from all this stuff, then they'll go to eat whatever they do eat. But on a frosty day, they'll come back and they'll scratch around for all the bits of wheat and corn and stuff that they don't normally find that palatable. Wow, a herring. You see that? That pterodactyl flying over? That was a herring gull. And they've got a wingspan of about 4 feet. Beautiful bird. What is that doing around here? Because there's no water around here. The nearest water is about a mile away. Okay, so I suppose you'll come back one more time. Oh, I was telling you. I was standing here, and he was on the fence here, and he was just about to jump on me, and I came forward, but my foot kicked this. And as I was coming forward, I went like that. And just as I went like that, he went flying past my right ear hole. And then thudded thump on the floor just behind me. He picked himself up, he bolted under the fence, and then he came back round again. The next time he's kind of like, you know, very hesitant and cautious that I wasn't going to be dodging him. I went, oh! You know, the thud was quite, you know, quite an impact. And so, yeah. But it's not often you see a squirrel miss, is it? But, you know, this wasn't a natural thing that happened to me. That, you know, I stumbled in a split second. I'd moved my my position, you know, by about 30 or 40 degrees. Okay, so I think that's it for today, folks. Just see if he shows up one more time. Here he is. Here's my boy. Here's my boy. Here's my boy. Look how beautiful he is. Isn't he just the sweetest? One of the Earth's miracles. One of the cosmos's miracle creations. Look, you're creeping like a tiger now, aren't you? Creeping like a tiger. Yeah. You're looking like a tiger. Where is he? Where is he? Hey, what's he doing? What are you doing? My boy. I love you. Now you're going to have to just feed on them. They are your favourite though. Yeah. And I know you won't leave a single one of those. Hey, something else is here. Someone's here. Did you hear that? Or am I hearing things? Because usually you're the first to hear. You know, before I even get wind of anything else being around. Now, if I try and touch them, you're going to make funny noises. Yeah. You're making funny noises, Daddy? Hey? You're telling me off? Oh, alright. Stop it. Stop it. I'm your daddy? Yeah, alright. Is that because you think you're a big boy now? It's like kids, whenever they're doing something and you try and help them, they you know, complain because they are attaining their own autonomy. And it's kind of like, get away from me, I can do it. And then they put up a fuss about it. And that's just what he's doing. Aren't you? Hey, how are you doing? Well, it just never gets old looking at this little fella. Recently I've been looking at the videos from when I first had him, and that was on the 7th of October. So 2 whole months since we've been acquainted. And that funny little guy that used to give me foot massages and sleep in my sleeve and hoodie, well, I miss him, to be fair. But I was getting a little bit bothered by you jumping all around my apartment and scattering everything and chewing at the cables and all that sort of stuff. One of the viewers said if I left him to his own devices, my apartment would be sawdust in 6 months. And I'm pretty sure that there's quite a reality in that. Yeah. He's super clean. I never see him licking and washing himself. I mean, I suppose he does that when he's in bed at night, but... And I never see the other squirrels scratching themselves, where he's always been a scratcher. Ever since the first day I've got him, he's just been a scratcher. And I don't know whether that's just an idiosyncrasy of his, because he most certainly doesn't have fleas. I would have known about it, you know, him being in my hair and being in such close proximity. You see them sometimes, you know, jumping around, and they're not that small. And no, he doesn't have fleas, but he's a scratcher. That could have been your name, couldn't it? Scratcher. I think actually Providence is your name and Scratch is your nickname. Scratcher. Where's my little Scratcher? And so he's eating things other than the sunflower hearts. He's eating bits and bobs, which is very good. Now they're still there. Are you going to make noises? You going to make some noises, Daddy? Huh? Still got some sunflower hearts there. There's a couple. Hey? Hey? And so he's not bothered about the other squirrels then, because they've all been in here. and whenever I clean out the debris that they don't want, it builds up after a while. There's quite a pungent smell of piss, and so he evidently is well aware of that. And of course I'm pretty certain that it will be heavy laden with the dominant male's piss, but he's still brave enough to come and eat and drink from the same watering hole. Look what he's eating all these bits and bobs. Well, that's a funny thing. Which ones are you eating? I can't really see which ones you're eating. But you do it too fast. I think you're still finding the odd sunflower in the shell, the smallest ones. Yeah. Well, now because you've buried all those nuts, you're probably still hungry. You're gonna have to go and get them, aren't you? Well, I think you know, instinctually, if there is quite an abundance of food, then they will start, you know, burying much of it, coming back, cleaning up the residue, just in case another squirrel shows up. And so, yeah, he'll go. Oh, here's a funny thing. So, when it's dusk, there's a certain point whereby he won't feel comfortable coming out to feed. Now sometimes when I get to him and it's just a little bit too dark, he'll just put his head out of his house and he won't come out. So last night it was at this point almost of no return, and he put his head out for about 5 minutes, and then eventually his body out, and then he came sauntering down, but he was very, very alert. Instinctively they have the greatest of alertness. So he's got one more nut. Do you want to come on me? So they have the greatest of alertness when it's dark, because of predators. You know, it's not good to be out in twilight. So he bolted back up to his house, and he just you know, put his head out. And so I'd got this long staff, and so I thought, oh, okay. So I put a pecan nut on the end of the staff, and I pushed it right up to the hole of his door, and I just tipped it. And just as I did that, he came out and he grabbed it, and then like he tucked it in, and he put his head out as if to say, oh, thanks. At least that's what I thought he said. But certainly, you know, he's not stupid as to where the stuff comes from and how it comes about. And on one particular occasion, when I thought he'd never come back, I thought it's dusk and he never came back. I went out to feed him, and he'd not blocked up his hole with all that, you know, bedding. And so I swear he was out, and so then I was running around the graveyard, and I was calling him, and this went on for about half an hour, and I really was concerned about him. And then I went inside, and I thought, I'm not going to be able to sleep unless I know categorically he's not in. He could have been curled up ill in the bottom of his house. And so I got this long torch, and I stood on the wheelie bin, and I felt inside, couldn't feel anything. I got this torch and I poked it down, couldn't feel anything. And then eventually a little nose popped out. Oh, in Providence, I've been calling you for the last half an hour. What he'd done, he pushed up all of the bedding on top of him, because it was going to be freezing that night, and he was down on the lower level. And then I had some nuts in my pocket, and I just gave him an old nut, and he just took the old nut and went back in. Oh, precious. Anyway, he knows there's nothing left now, so he's got no reason to come back. Unfortunately. Kids.